Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of our Guest of the Week on Standard Voice Television. Today on the program, we are going to look at some issues about corruption cases in Nigeria. Though the program is all about the national event, we talk about politics, we speak about one angle, natural disasters. But today we are going to focus on some corruption cases in Nigeria, particularly the issue of the Presidential Foreign Investment Intervention Promotion Council issue, which Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi is involved with, together with the Chief of Staff to the President of the Federation, that is President Bola Tinubu, that is in person of Femi Gbajabiamila, whose name has been mentioned in the scandal. On today's program, my guest is still Prince Anthony Akochi, a public commentator analyst, and also Christian cleric. He's going to do justice to this program of today, in which we are talking about corruption generally in Nigeria. Sir, you are welcome to this wonderful program.
Thank you so much. It's my honor and privilege to be here on the show.
And we're also happy to have you on our programs, particularly to this program that is Guest of the Week. I am Ilya Adamauta, who will be anchoring the program. And when we look at corruption per se, we can say corruption is an abuse of an entrusted it's an abuse of office or embezzling of or accepting bribery or scamming. Is all about, it's all termed as corruption. But today we are going to be particular about some top government officials who have embezzled or accepted bribe of during their service in the office, both political appointees and then government officials. But before then, we will take a break and take this message. When we come back, we'll continue from there. Stand by. Welcome back. I'm still Ilya Adamauta with our guest, Prince Anthony Akochi, a public affairs commentator and analyst, and also a Christian cleric. He's going to do justice to this particular topic, corruption in Nigeria, where we are looking at some cases of corruption in Nigeria. But before we go into the issue deeply, I would like to just lay a background on corruption. Particularly in Nigeria, it drains the country of resources meant for school, hospitals, roads, and society. It also erodes trust in government and make inequality worse because people money will be siphoned, or money meant for projects will be siphoned, and that will make the country or a particular community to remain undeveloped. Particularly what is happening now in our country, Nigeria. Although there are some agencies that have been saddled with the responsibilities or with the affairs of tackling corruption or fighting this corruption, like the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, that is EFCC, and this ICPC, that is Independent Corrupt Practices Commission. These these agencies have been saddled with the fights against corruption in Nigeria. And globally, we have what you call an agency that's called Transparency International, also fights corruption in Nigeria. There was a report from a site I researched, that is Data Hacked, reviewed that corruption, that there are about 393 corruption cases involving public officers from 2013 to 2016, and about only 44 have reached final judgment. That is over 30. That is over 60%. 144 have reached judgment. That and then over 60% of these cases are still pending in the court of law. That's up till now in Nigeria, the judges or the courts have not said anything about them. And then another report I received, I make research that it says this header had reported that over 100 high-profile cases with alleged stolen amount to about 1.3 38 trillion naira, and the other is about 53.8 billion dollars, and another about 1 million pounds stolen. And so cases, there have been allegation, or let me say an accusation, that some lawyers have been the backbone or the obstacle that have been disrupting these cases, that make the cases to be delayed across Nigeria. Sir, if I may ask, what is corruption, so to say, before we can look at some cases of corruption in Nigeria, starting from, let's say, from the former Minister of Petroleum, that is Diezani Alison Madueke, and others?
So absolutely, once again, I want to say to the viewers of Standard Voice Television that we're proud of you. We thank you for your followership. And then, of course, we thank you for standing by this wonderful channel, and you're watching us, and we thank you for your feedbacks. When we talk about corruption, we talk about across the board mismanagement and abuse of office, and an event where public funds are not used where they should be used, are not put into where they should be put into. When there are cases of diversions and also siphoning of public funds. And when we talk about public funds, we talk about monies that would have been used for road constructions, monies that would have been used to better aviation, monies that would have been used to better even
the life of
the work of journalism, the masses, and monies that would have been used to heighten and better security. Such monies end up in the pocket of few individuals. That is absolutely corruption. So Nigeria has been bedeviled, has been a hotspot of this issue, where so many persons who want to come to the corridor of power before reaching office had that in mind, that it is my time to come and also get my own from the national cake, which is actually a very wrong notion to start with. Basically, when you're coming to power, when you're coming to the corridor of power, you are coming as a servant. You're coming to serve. You're coming to better whichever organization, whichever community or whatsoever that you're coming to manage. You're coming to be a good manager of it, not a damager, not a bad manager, basically.
So, okay, sir. When we go back to some corruption cases that have happened, as I say, from 2013 to date, like the issue of Diezani Alison Madueke, she was being accused of maybe collecting bribe, that it was about $53.1 million, and acquiring private jets, cash, and then even London properties, and even many designer goods and assets. And then another case again is that of the former MD of APCOM, that embezzled about, he was facing the fraud of about 76 billion naira and another $31.5 million. The cases is there, and even Chris Ngige, former labor minister, also was accused of about embezzling about receiving bribe of 2.2 billion naira when he went for an oversight function. That is under National Social Insurance Trust Fund. He embezzled. He was given bribe, accepted bribe, although it was like a gift. But it was tagged, the EFCC alleged that it was a bribe. Maybe they were given a project to execute, and then they could not make it. They have to shut his mouth so that he can cover up. And also we have the issue of former aviation minister as well. This Stella Odua, she was also accused in 2020. Yes, she was arraigned in 2025 on a 5-count charge. In the money that he misappropriated about 5 billion naira as well, aviation fund. Also we have Yakubu Adamu, also former finance minister of Bauchi State. Also, he was facing charges about 4.6 billion naira up to 4.6 billion naira, another 2.2 million dollars that is stole from the coffers of the state. So we can see these some of these. When we go back to Jonathan's regime as well, I remember Dasuki also was accused of going away with this arm deal, going away with about 2.1 billion naira as well. So we can go on with these many corrupt cases. Even there was a former during Buhari time, there was one former accountant general that even siphoned money about 100 and something billions naira. We can look at Sadiya Farouk also. We can look at another one of the minister of humanitarian, another minister, I'm forgetting her name. Also, she siphoned a lot of money as well. Sir, what do you think this is doing for Nigeria?
The first thing, and absolutely very glaring and obvious for all of us to see, is that it's actually demeaning Nigeria and reducing Nigeria economically.
Yes, sir.
And also making Nigeria a laughing stock in the face of global powers and the world at large.
Okay.
Looking at the case of Diezani, at some point that case was being fought back and forth in the UK.
Yes.
And after a long while of legal battle, we learned that the same UK
courts
cleared her of all wrongdoing.
Yes.
Now, one thing I want people to understand is that when we talk about colonial masters, of course, UK is one of them, is that they go first for what they call national interests.
Okay.
They had a reason that has to do with their national interest as at that time, that they brought up that issue and escalated it.
Okay.
For the sake of their national interest. And then after a little while, that may have been achieved. Because for that legal battles, of course, she has to employ lawyers. They have to go, all of that.
Yes.
So they may have made a whole lot from her.
Yes.
And to the detriment of Nigeria, because that rubbishes the image of Nigeria. Because she was an office holder here.
Yes.
At the same time, whereby there is no any office holder from the UK who is being taken to court in Nigeria.
No.
We don't have any case like that.
Don't have any case like that.
So basically, when you look at all of that,
we have it, they will be mild.
It will be very, very mild. And so when you look at that, it's a very strong signal telling us, and also a wake-up call, telling us that, of course, we need to tighten the nozzle when it comes to this issue of bribery and corruption in Nigeria. And for some of us who are analysts, we are calling for what we call overhaul of the criminal justice system in Nigeria, such that the system can bite very well, can not only back. We shouldn't have a system that can just be backing and cannot bite. We should have a system that can also bite.
But do you have the systems?
Now, right now, what we have is a case where, if it's a common man that takes one thing or the other from the society, the person is being punished heavily. But when it comes to bourgeois, when it comes to big people, when it comes to big players, when they tend to, siphon public funds, and then certain monies are being collected from them, they are asked to go.
Okay, but why?
And that's why we're calling for overhaul of the system. It means the system is soft towards the rich.
What should we say? It's a double standard?
Of course, the system carries along with it double standard. It is harsh to the common man, harsh on the common man, and then mild on those who siphon big money. Because when you look at the bills, for instance, somebody who probably siphoned 5 billion, for instance, and he's asked to bring 100,000 as bail.
Yes, bail, 100,000, or 1
million. Or a million, or 2 million as bail. And then with 5 shorties or this number of shorties. And then the person goes home to start living life normal. And after a little while, back and forth, we'll be told that, certain monies or certain things have been recovered from him. And then when somebody takes away from the public fund 5 billion, and after legal battles and every other thing, and you're able to recover like 3 billion or maybe 2.5 billion, is the person now not 2.5 billion richer?
Sure.
Or not 2 billion richer?
Yes, sure.
So it's also a short change. The state is still short change. So the current system is not really a mop-up system. It's still leaving these criminals who are collecting bribes from high profile from their offices to still go scot-free. In fact, they become richer than they came to the office.
Sure.
So we should have a system that can take back everything. When I mean everything,
To the last kobo.
To the last kobo. You know, there's this thing that they call declaration of assets.
Yes.
When somebody is, assuming office, he may have declared that this is what I have.
Yes.
And it should not be falsified. It should be that is what he has or she has.
Yes.
Such that when you are leaving office, we should know that, okay, you are leaving office, you are able to have this from that office.
Yes,
so that if there's any excess and surplus, we should come for that and recover that totally. When people know that they cannot go scot-free, any other person who has the intention of coming to power to milk the nation will subpedal.
But as we are just speaking, I just think I will just reflect back. I was just thinking about, well, let's see this. Let's say in the culture or a moral, in the cultural settings, is this embezzlement legal? Not to talk about the religion. You can see that it's cut across all religion, both Islam and the Christianity. It forbids embezzling for public fund. But why is our people? Is it that the religious leaders are not saying the truth, are not teaching the truth, or from the culture where we come from the homes, there's no home training?
No, there's a derailment somewhere.
Oh, okay.
There is a departure.
Okay.
In the time past, people are being celebrated for good reasons.
Yes.
When somebody is elderly, he's been accorded that honor and regard for being an elderly person. When somebody is hardworking, he's being respected, he's being honored for being a hardworking person.
Yes.
When somebody commands respect, has integrity, that is accorded him, he's been celebrated across the board. But today there's a paradigm shift such that the dynamics have changed in the Nigerian society, whereby the whole thing has been monetized in a way that if anybody steals money, he now takes the glory now.
He's been even celebrated.
Not minding whoever is going to die or whoever died, or whatever depreciation that will bring, or whatever kind of problem is going to bring to that community or to the nation. That it's no longer an issue. The issue is that he's now a millionaire or a billionaire, and people go after him, they celebrate him. Some of them are even given chieftaincy title.
Yes, sure.
So when you do that, what are you doing? You are now kind of institutionalizing criminality.
Yes.
And you are building in the minds of the young ones who are coming up that you too can come and steal, and then we'll give you a tap in the back.
Yes.
Just like what we call take a bow and go.
Yes.
They can just come steal money and take a bow and go.
Yes.
So all of that has to be adjusted. That's where the maladjustment came from.
Wow.
Where there is a change in value, those things that were seen as values in those days in the time past are no longer regarded as value. Such that people who want to stay in office for 35 years without stealing a kobo are seen as fools now.
Wow.
They don't have sense.
And that's what's happening.
And then people who come to the office after 6 months, they are parading cars. There's this inordinate display of wealth. They see them as smart people, smart guys, people that are top notch. So that's until that is corrected. Then concerning the religious leaders, the religious leaders today are divided into so many classes. Some of them are now political, such that anything that goes has to do, and they have somebody who is their person politically. Whatever he does goes is correct.
Wow.
So it's religiously correct. They have a way of kind of washing the person's,
modernizing it.
Make it look mild. In spite of the stealing, in spite of the siphoning, they make it look mild. So those are political religious leaders. Then we now have those who are tribalistic. So long as that person is their tribal person, is a tribesman. Whatever he does is correct. The person, in fact, is a saint, is a sacred cow. Nobody should talk to him. Nobody should go after him. In fact, some of them will be praying for the EFCC and the ICPC to fail. In the job. If they want to go after that person, they say, no, he's our tribesman, he's our kingsman.
We defend him.
We have to defend him with our might, with all that we have. So we tend to have that problem. Then we now have, finally, talking about the religious leaders, we also have those who today, for them, even the things of God is about money. If you are not rich, it's like God is not with you, or you're not really serving God. So such individuals, when they become pastors to politicians, what do you expect? When they become pastors to big office holders, what do you expect? What kind of message will they be putting across? The message will be just get rich, not minding where you get it from.
Yes.
So, and all of these have put, when you put all of them together, have become the problem, and a very bigger problem, depreciating and also, you know, pushing Nigeria to a standstill, because Nigeria today is rich, but you cannot see the wealth.
Cannot see it. Yeah, it's not.
And that's where we are today.
Visible, yeah.
So the religious leaders, like I said earlier, have been pluralized and are into so many other things, which is, many of them have left their duty posts.
Okay.
We tend to have only few, and the voices of these few may not be heard, because those who are really in the business of supporting these criminals are also big and rich.
Wow.
You know, men of God, or people, clerics. So the smaller ones who are not too rich, they talk, but their talk does not carry weight, and that is where we are today, basically.
Okay, sir. Let's come back. I'm just looking at somebody like, let me say this woman, this Stella Odua, and host of them that stole about billions of naira.
Let me even start from Dezani.
Yes.
Dezani, having been cleared now,
Yes.
has also actually filed another case to recover her asset back.
Okay.
So when she succeeds in doing that, what has she lost? She has gotten everything back. In fact, she's even, you know, suing the UK government or whoever from the UK that actually took her to court before, and filing and asking for certain money from them. So compensation. So for defamation of character, whatsoever it is. So if she succeeds in that, for her it is a win-win thing.
Yes.
She has used it as a marketing thing, because you sue her, you now declared her free, she has sued you, and she has been giving money. Okay, so she'll be richer. So Stella Odua, that of Stella Odua, when the issue came up initially, they told us it was 5 billion. Then after a little while, we were told that, okay, certain monies have been recovered from her, to the sum of 2.5 billion. And then, of course, we now have a head of an organization talking about, his name is Oyedepo, telling us now that she's a free woman. And then he said that to the court, and the court declared her a free person. And there's no any other problem. So now the question is, if the money that was actually told to the public, to the Nigerian public, that the money that went missing or was misappropriated was 5 billion, and now there's a recovery of 2.5 billion, and she's a free person, then what happens to the remaining money? Is Nigeria not shortchanged? What happened to the remaining 2.5 billion?
Yes.
That's the philosophical question, if you like, that is waiting for those who have cleared her to answer us.
Sure.
Basically.
So as a religious leader, I want to let's digress a little. As a religious leader, somebody acquiring such a money, what will you do with that money?
Now, what they do, you know, like I said, where, you know, money is giving the highest premium, is giving the highest honor. So for the fun of it, they want to amass this wealth. Just for them and their families, or probably their kins and friends, so that people will see them as rich people. Because rich people today are seen as the godly people. They are seen as those who are smart. They are seen as those who actually know what they are doing. So for that reason, or these reasons, they want to amass this wealth. And then the only thing is that you drag them to court, they look for little money out of that money and bail themselves from court, or win over the issue and still keep the money. Wow. So that is the situation.
Okay. So I think we'll take a break. We'll take a break here, and we'll come back. We'll continue from there. Particularly, we are going to look at some of the corruption cases, most especially that recently happened. That's about this NNPC man, and this Adeyemi, also his issue, and then also host of others. We're going to look at them before we close the program. Stand by. We'll be back in a while. Welcome back to our program, the guest of the week for this week, and then we are still with our analyst, public commentator, and analyst in person, and a Christian cleric in person of Anthony Akochi. He's the one doing justice to this particular topic, corruption in Nigeria, where we have looked at some cases that were allegedly some of our top government officials were allegedly accused of embezzling some monies. But before then, I want to remind the viewers that this program is under is open for sponsorship. If you are, you can come in. We are ready to accept you for sponsorship, or place your advert on this program so that your programs or your business will be advertised for you, and you can even, it's even open for you to advertise, to sponsor the program, and we will be playing all your product and the services for you. Sir, you are welcome back.
Thank you so much.
We are talking about the alleged the issue of Stella Odua, Chris Ngigi, and the host of them, and even Yakubu, that yes, he was alleged that he was even using it for financing the terrorists with about $2.3 million. Now let's look at another issue, that is the issue of the refinery MD, where the FCC arranged him. That is Warri Refinery, and that of the Port Harcourt. That is Jimo Yasau of Port Harcourt Refinery, and then Ahmed Diko of Ahmed Diko also. They were that Jimo is from Warri Refinery. Then Diko, that Ahmed Diko is from the Port Harcourt Refinery. That he embezzled about $789 million
allegedly.
Mm-hmm. And that and Jimo also, he was allegedly to have taken about $989 million dollars as well. One person should steal that money. And also the issue of Godwin Emefiele, the central bank governor. He was even also accused of acquiring he was being accused of he's facing 8 count charges in the court of law. I believe that is by acquiring about 53 housing units in Abuja, around that Abuja, and then about another money about 1.6 billion naira also between 2020 and 2022 was allegedly to be acquired those money. And then coming to the main issue now, that's the recently issue that have been discussed, that is talking about this Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, a fake agency that the council, that the even federal government have denied knowledge of that particular issue. And then the issue of Bajabia Miller coming into that, mentioning the name of that, you know, there are circumstances that surround that issue at the moment, with the issue of the arrest of the father of Adeyemi. His father was arrested as well. And then there was an article he wrote. I think I go to that according with that. He was asking some question that government should answer. Really, Nigeria need to know what happened. How does that ministry was able to operate for a certain time, and then after operating, it was included in the budget, and then using Nigeria's. Even a budget was allocated to it as well, and nobody knows it. And then they are saying, the National Assembly are saying they don't know anything about it. The president is saying he doesn't know anything about it. How did they scrutinize the budget, and without glancing into that, or figuring that particular agency that now they are saying is fake? Why are they saying it's fake?
Okay, before we come to Prince Matthew.
Yes. Matthew Adeyemi. Yes, sir.
That of the AMCON.
Yes.
The issue around it is basically it has to do with certain destruction of assets.
Yes.
Because the money they're talking about has to do with, in that tune, has to do with an authorization. It was an authorization that led to the destruction, pull down and destruction of those assets. That what's about that money.
Yes, sir.
And the MD or the leader there is being dragged because of that. What kind of authorization basically is that. Then talking about Chris Ngige, his own was what we call kickbacks
Okay.
from contractors.
From contractors.
Those who either want to get contracts, and those who are already having the contracts, they want more, and those who want their contracts to be overlooked even if the job is not properly done.
Yes.
So all of these are termed as kickbacks.
Yes.
So those monies came from that kickbacks, and they are also level under corruption. Allegedly under corruption.
Yes, sir.
Then still going as we started from the ongoing. The case of Prince Matthew Adeyemi is one thing that has become like a prose, like a play, like a drama. Drama in the sense that he's actually allegedly saying his agency has about 300 people
Staffs.
working. And there was a particular year that his agency was included in the national budget.
Sure.
And that is to say was budgeted for. And he's also saying, though the matter is also prejudicial, because it's a case that he has been given 72 hours to retract it, to tender an apology and retract it. That order came from the presidential chief of staff that his character has been defamed, and that he should retract it under 72 hours in about 5 national dailies, and also social media where Prince Adeyemi held a press conference. That if that does not happen, it's going to slam him with about there's this billion he called about. I can't get it in about 5 billion or whatever billion.
But if I want to
naira,
should I cut you before I forget? I have a question that I want to. You see, Nigerian government are fond of a kind of denial. You can't remember what happened last year during when they said there was a coup, and the federal government came out to say there's nothing like a coup in Nigeria. But later we heard that they have arrested some people.
Though, even though I'm not a spokesperson for the government, I think the challenge we have is we tend to have issues around synergy. Synergy in the sense that the harmonization, because when we talk about government, we talk about different people who are major players in governance. So the players themselves most times are not harmonized. Now this back and forth is somebody trying to defend his agency, or somebody trying to keep his office, to keep his food.
And that's what I'm going.
That's basically where we're going. So in this very case too, is a case of Adeyemi is saying, I am the MD or whatever of this very body
agency,
and the presidential chief of staff also is saying we don't know it, we are not aware of it. And he's now saying, with your 20 years, around the National Assembly, you will tell us that you don't know what you people sat and appropriated it and even budgeted for it. So now, the interesting aspect of this is when this matter reaches the court, because of course in governance you have 3 arms of government. The executive, the judiciary, and of course the legislature. So when it gets to the judiciary will look at it and interpret very well. Was actually there an agency and was scrapped, or there was no agency at all, and this man is just an impostor? We're waiting for judiciary now to print it out and to let us know. Even though this morning I stumbled on something from one of the media houses that said the same person, Prince Adeyemi, allegedly also said he was an official of either the UN or one international body sometimes ago. So if that is true, if that can be established, then of course it leaves us with so much doubt. But he's in the argument that he has his papers. He has his papers of being appointed. That is how he has his appointment letter. So when he goes to the court, I know the court will be asking for all of this, and he's going to tender them, and then we'll look at the veracity. We'll look at the validity of all of this.
What I wanted to, why is the presidency denying that Gbajabiamila does not know anything about that? Because I've seen that. Because when they
yes,
when they made the accusation, the presidency came out publicly and said there's nothing like that.
Yes, that information came from the chief press secretary, you know, I think to the president also.
Yeah.
Known as Onanuga. Bayo Onanuga.
Yes.
Was the one that said that agency does not exist. They don't know about it.
So they should not drag Gbajabiamila into it.
It should not be dragged.
But the man was allegedly saying that that Gbajabiamila asked for a bribe of a certain amount, and he refused to.
And that would remind me. That would remind me of some time back.
Yes, sir.
In the early days of the pickup of democracy from 1999, we used to have somebody who. I think Ahmed Lawal also, somebody who actually asked for something like that.
Yeah. That
one was Kano. Yes, that one was substantiated
Lawal,
because there was a recording device.
Yes, there was.
That was tendered in the court of law.
Yeah, sure.
And that incriminated him, Ahmed Lawal, and that was it.
He was in prison.
So we're going to follow suit in this case.
Okay.
What that means is that he should tender evidence.
The evidence, sure.
Of Gbajabiamila asking for the bribe.
Yes.
If that is evidential, that is proven that yes, this is it, then we can also add that to this discourse, because it's very important that some of these things are only just spoken.
Yes.
And they don't carry weight until we see papers, we see evidences here and there flying around. Then we can now be sure that yes, this can be substantiated.
Though we are not saying it really happened, but we are just assuming or alleging that such thing happened. Sir, in a nation like Nigeria with intellect, how, if this become reality, that it is real, that definitely
there is an agency like that,
how does it scale the National Assembly?
Now, if actually this happens to be true, that there was actually an agency like that, and then in the heat of the matter, there are deniers. Allegedly, there are no such agency. It puts our nascent, democracy in jeopardy. It builds what we call mistrust, and people begin to have a strong doubt, not only in this government, but governments to come. Because what we are saying is that government, as being known worldwide, has to do with accountability.
Sure.
A government should be transparent.
Sure.
So if that happens to be true, that there's such an agency, and simply because a bribe allegedly was not given, and all of this saga, escalated to this point, and that agency now either has been scrapped or wasn't even there in the first place, and then the impostor is making, all of these claims, then we are yet to see all of this.
Yeah.
Now, I think what we want to do at this point, even as we are doing this discourse, which is very important,
yes, sir,
is that we want Nigerians to keep their fingers crossed. We want to follow up this case,
yes,
to see as the case ends up, in the four corner of the judiciary. What is going to come out of that place? The judiciary should interpret very well and let us know there was actually a body, an agency like that, or there wasn't. Okay? Yeah. So when that happens, then of course, we now have something before us. If it happens that the judiciary said there is. But because of the heat of the moment and this or that happened. But I want to reassure you that a whole lot of Nigerians will not only be disappointed, but they'll begin to lose trust in those whom are in the corridor of power. But if in an event that the judiciary interprets it the other way and said, no, there wasn't any agency, evidentially, and allegedly that was falsified, there was no any agency, then of course I want to assure you that Prince Matthew Adeyemi Adeniyi will go in for it. But that's the situation.
This is not my view. Paraventure. Okay, let me just say, in a country like Nigeria again, if an allegation level against somebody in that capacity of a chief of staff, what's you supposed to do? Or what is the government supposed to do, or the president supposed to do?
Yes, what happens, or what we call best standard across the globe, when there are issues like this, some persons elsewhere in other climes, we say, okay, they decide to leave office for a little while to be investigated. And matters like that are taken into the hands of experts, good investigators, who without fear or favor will investigate the chief of staff and will investigate the allegations put forward by Prince Adeyemi himself. So all of this, that's what happens elsewhere.
But why is not happening in Nigeria?
No, the Nigerian system, well, our democracy is still nascent, because after after
since 1999,
yes, but, you know, before
a child that was born 1999 is now a graduate.
Before 1999, we had democracy. And was scuttled by military interventions. Okay. And now from 1999, we now have a new democratic era. But and that's why
devoid of military intervention.
Devoid of that. But then there are also incursions from the military too, and from the power that be. And that's why you tend to hear cabal or no cabal. So there's this being careful. There's this fearfulness, even gripping those at the corridor of power, those in offices. For instance, Adeyemi allegedly said he is part of those working team who ensured that the current person sitting in presidency becomes president. That's to say he's among the grassroots people that made it happen. So now the question to him is that, okay, is that agency created now? And Adeyemi should answer this. Is that agency now created for compensation? Was it now compensated for having worked tirelessly to bring Mr. President to office? You understand? Because I'm bringing fragments and some of the tributaries that have come together to kind of define the kind of politics we do in Nigeria. Our democracy in Nigeria is a far cry, is a bit different from what's tenable in US, in UK and other climes. So here a lot of factors come in when we talk about democracy. We talk about kinsman, we talk about favor, those who stood by you. We talk about political godfathers. Godfatherism is still here. You understand? And then we also see where money and politics, politics and all of that, influence and so on. So all of this kind of colorate or give a color to the kind of democracy that we're practicing here. And that's why until we break away from this, until the day we break away from some of these little fragmentations, little issues, and go to real kind of democracy that is in practice elsewhere, then of course we will run away from some of these smaller issues.
Okay, so as a cleric, as a Christian cleric and a political analyst, do you think Nigeria can be able to fight corruption to a zero level?
Yes, I believe it. I believe in the sense that elsewhere it's been fought. The United States of America that today is seen as world power, the strongest democracy and all of that, had a time that they were not where they are. They fought it as a nation and fixed it. So Nigeria can take a cue, can take a look at that. And it's a thing of national rebirth. It's for us to come sit and talk to ourselves, and we don't have any other country to call ours. Anywhere we go, we are foreigners. Okay, look at what's happening in South Africa. South Africa is sending us back home, killing those who they meet on the street and all of that, closing their shops. So that's a big one for us to come home, think of how we can fix home. Nigeria is one of the most richest in the world, both in human resources and natural resources.
So what are some ways that we can fight corruption?
Yes, some ways we can fight corruption until...
But let me add to it. Do you think EFCC, ICPC are doing well?
Yes, on the average, considering
because
the factors.
One of the research I come across an EFCC, former EFCC boss that was, okay, I think it's in the news. I saw something in the paper this morning. One EFCC boss that was even being held for embezzling the money they recovered.
Allegedly, yeah. So basically, when you look at all of this, considering the environment in which EFCC and ICPC
are operating,
you will give them kudos. Like I've already said, there's a systemic problem. There is a societal problem.
Okay.
Such that certain norms and values of Nigeria have been fractured and have been, have been punctured. Where, like I've gave you some narrative now, where the thieves now, people who thief people money are given chieftaincy, are being celebrated, they are celebrities. So, and the hands of ICPC are tight, and the hands of EFCC. So we'll give them a tap in the back, to be very honest with you, to work inside that kind of harsh environment. So, but it's not enough to say, okay, because we have given them a tap in the back, we should go back to sleep. No. We can also say, okay, one more thing is, how do we clean up the society? How to mop up and clean up the society so that the ICPC and the EFCC can work better, and the economy of Nigeria can be revamped in a hurry. We must throw away sentiments. Sentiments that this man is from my place, this man is my tribe, this man is my faith, that's religion, this man was once this or that for me. All kinds of sentiments and favoritism must be thrown into the trash can. When that happens, if you look at the statue of law, it's like a blind. So the law does not know who is my father, who is my uncle, and all of that, until we get to that level. Whereby anybody from any part of Nigeria does anything, the law should take its course on him.
And do you have that judicial power?
And that's why we're calling for an overhaul of the judicial system in Nigeria. Now, Mr. President has done something that, for me, is commendable. Giving so much money, I think there was this 300% increase for judges. I want to encourage, as I use this medium to talk, that should trickle down. It shouldn't just be for judges. Everybody in judiciary, including gatesman, including those who are sweeping,
even the police,
everybody in judiciary, everybody, that should happen. I'll be coming to the police, but I want to talk about the judiciary because this issue of corruption. If certain people in the judiciary are not well paid, for instance, considering the level of inflation, and you come before them with certain amount of money, what do you expect?
Definitely.
So some might not fall, but many will fall for it. And certain things can go the other way, which will undermine national security and undermine the economy of Nigeria. So when you better the judiciary and make them comfortable financially, such that nobody can come lure them or cajole them on, intimidate them with money, we are beginning to solve the problem. Then we come to policing. The Nigerian police, how much is his take-home pay? We fix it. For instance, many of them will serve this country for 30 or 35 years. And somebody at the rank of sergeant, for instance, and is out of the job, or inspector, and you said, okay, he after not much money that's given him as retirement benefit, then you now said, okay, you now pension. His pension is around 30,000.
Wow.
What will 30,000 buy?
Nothing.
Today in Nigeria.
Nothing.
So the government needs to wake up and fix this. That question of retirement benefit, police shouldn't suffer, and the family of these police people shouldn't suffer to get their gratuities. The families of the fallen heroes, those who die in active service, shouldn't suffer to get, and the military shouldn't suffer to get what's supposed to accrue to them. To keep life going. So until that is addressed, then their salary package must be fixed. When you fix it, it will boost effective policing. We're talking about more hands in the police. More hands. Nigeria is about 200 million people. And we tend to have police today that is less than 300,000. So how can 300,000 people police a country of more than 200 million people?
It will be difficult.
It will be very difficult. Then let's talk about modern day high tech of policing. Is inadequate in Nigeria. So we should go send our top police officers elsewhere to go and run courses and see some of this tech, buy them. Some of them that can be made or assembled here, we should assemble them. We should have gadgets everywhere,
can be able to find the
whereby we can find evidential information of crime and criminality. When anybody does anything, he can be seen and can be apprehended and can be gone after. When people know all of this, you realize that people will be running away from criminality.
Okay, sir, let me just digress a bit again. Not actually, but I want to look at another way. The journalists are also trying, the kind of watchdog to the society.
I was coming there. I was coming to journalists and I was coming to teachers.
Okay.
These are the people that were neglected. How do you neglect a person that is the first to bring information to your doorpost.
That's another issue.
I want to say this on this wonderful telly, that the fourth arm of government
is journalism.
Is journalism. So if journalism is the fourth arm, why are they this neglected? That a journalist cannot have, one, their security is in jeopardy.
Yes.
Their welfare is nothing to write home about.
And the issue of freedom of information.
And the issue of freedom of information, which was an act before and is a bill now.
Yes.
Why is it undermined?
Yes.
Why is it suppressed? So a journalist should enjoy what they call free press.
Yes.
Because today there's even what they call World Free Press Day.
Sure.
So, and Nigeria is signatory to it.
Sure.
So Nigeria should live by it, live by that World Press Free Day, and give our journalists the free hands to operate. And teachers, their welfare should be taken into consideration, their salaries, and where they live and all of that must be looked at. It will reduce insecurity.
And even the petty traders should be looking to, businessmen should be looking
through small scale, SME, the SME,
through
soft loans and all of that. And that's where I'll be coming to banks. The Nigerian banks are so, I don't know what has happened, that they want to be giving loan to those that don't need loan. Those that are rich, those who have collateral, those that don't even need the money, they'll be begging them to give them loan. When there are people with business ideas who need this loan to do business, and people who are already in business who need this loan to expand their business, they'll make it so difficult for them to get it. And some of them will die even with the idea. So the Nigerian banks need to do something quickly about this.
Okay, sir, because of time, I think this is where we draw to cutting of the program for today. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for so much for your enlightenment.
The pleasure is mine.
Education. We have been, in fact, the viewers have been educated about all this corruption issue, and I pray that when we call you next time, you'll be able to avail yourself so that we can have a chat like this.
Absolutely.
On behalf of my guest, Prince Anthony Okoche, a public analyst, and then a Christian cleric, and on behalf of the production crew, the COO, Idris Abdul Karim, the cameraman Salim Mohammed, and then my film editor, that is Yusuf Bobai, and then the executive producer, who is Alhaji Ibrahim Dosara. I am Ilya Adamouta, saying join us next week for another befitting and wonderful episode of Guest of the Week. Thank you and be blessed.